Citi News.
It's 15 days to the December 7 general election. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Citi Prime News. This news is live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. This is the Election Bureau. My name is Zoe Abubeduado. Coming up, NDC flag bearer John Mahama questions Cocoa Board's financial priorities as cocoa sector struggles.
Last year, Cocoa Board headquarters, on budget here 3.4 billion cedis. Headquarters on Kwame, so Mudia Cocoa said they're not me.
Also coming up, Botiano MP Sylvester Tete denies involvement in GBC staff bungalow demolition and vows investigation into land deal.
I will institute investigations into how GBC Lands has ended up building private homes here where we are standing. Thank you. So you should get ready.
Still to come, residents of Afram Plains North constituency cite road infrastructure and development as key to making a decision on December 7. We'll hear more of their concerns during our constituency report segment.
Our road is poor. We face so many problems. Sometimes I spoil them to see the shops. We beg you, so if you can't empower me to do the road bigger. If I hear a person who can't talk sensible thing, that be the person I'm going to do.
And later, former toll workers accuse government of failing to fulfill promises after road toll cessation.
The government has disappointed us. We want to set the record straight. So it's been 3 long years since the government has failed to fulfill any of the promises it gave us.
This bulletin is also live across our partner stations and across the globe. We are live on citinewsroom.com.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, the New Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has vowed to prioritize significant improvements in the education sector if elected, promising that his administration will surpass the achievements of former President John Mahama's government. Speaking to supporters in the northern region on November 21, Dr. Bawumia emphasized the stark contrast in educational policies between the NPP and the previous administration. He urged voters to view the 2024 elections as a crucial moment for Ghana, calling on Ghanaians to unite behind the NPP with a commitment to innovative policies and substantial progress in education and other sectors.
In Mahama's time, our schools didn't have chalk. However, we are buying tablets for school children. Every child will get one. No one will be left out. We are even buying laptops for teachers. We are buying it for teachers from kindergarten to SHS.
From kindergarten teacher to senior high school teacher to dollar computer laptops and to teacher nama bazaar Ghana.
That's the New Patriotic Party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, the National Democratic Congress has welcomed the directive from the Inspector General of Police prohibiting firearms at polling stations during the 2024 general elections, including those carried by security personnel. Following a police briefing with representatives of all political parties on election security preparations, the NDC's Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Edward Omane-Boama, reaffirmed the party's commitment to collaborating with security agencies. He also expressed the party's expectation of robust support from security personnel during the special voting scheduled for December 2.
We are gladdened to know that the security agencies are saying there should be no lethal weapons at the polling station. That is no firearms at the polling stations. That is very good. We are also gladdened that they are saying that the military will only be a last resort. And because the IGP is the commander-in-chief of the National Election Security Task Force, it is only the IGP that can order a military intervention in this election. What this does is it places the responsibility for any military intervention or military incursion on the IGP and no other person.
He also voiced concerns about rumors of possible attempts to interfere with the electronic transmission of election results. To address this, the NDC has proposed a system where results once faxed to Electoral Commission Chairperson Jean Mensah are also emailed with copies sent to all 12 presidential candidates.
Because we are of the firm belief that the pink sheet, copy of the pink sheet that our polling agents will be given, our reps at the constituency collation centers must have those copies of the pink sheets and not just electronic versions that we will forward to them. This is because in this day and age, anyone can just alter an electronic document and create unnecessary arguments at the constituency collation center. There are rumors that some people are readying themselves to interfere with electronic transmission of the results. And you know that when the results are moving from the regional collation centers of the Electoral Commission to Madam Jean Mensah, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, who is the sole returning officer for the presidential elections, they are faxed.
NDC's Director of Elections and IT, Dr. Edward Omanebwama. Now, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has criticized Cocoa Board for prioritizing excessive spending at its Accra headquarters over investments in cocoa farmers. Speaking on Sunrise FM after his 5-day tour of the Eastern region, Mr. Mahama questioned the management's financial priorities, especially amid declining cocoa production. He highlighted that cocoa production has fallen to 555,000 tons over the past 4 years, while expenditure at Cocoa Board's headquarters skyrocketed to about 3.4 billion in 2023.
Instead of saying, Ombema cocoa ikrafono,
the cocoa farmers have been struggling for a long time, and yet Cocoa Board finds it appropriate to spend huge sums of money at its headquarters. This is unacceptable. Over the past 4 years, cocoa production has dropped to 555,000 tons. Meanwhile, Cocoa Board's headquarters expenditure has ballooned to an alarming 3.4 billion Ghana cedis in 2023. How does this benefit our hardworking farmers? They are rather spending it on cars and undeserving salaries. So we have said that we will do better with the management of the cocoa sector.
Last year, Cocoa Board headquarters, on budget 3.4 billion cedis. Headquarters on Kwame, Newsroom, cocoa, said they're not me.
That was John Mahama, who is the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC. Now, road infrastructure and a lack of developmental projects are likely to be key factors in determining voter decisions in the Afram Plains North constituency during this year's elections. Residents say years of neglect by successive governments have made life difficult. First-time voters, however, hope to avoid disappointment from unfulfilled promises by political parties and their flag bearers. Citi News' Neil Ni Amati Kanako reports from the constituency where there are growing indications of potential skirt and blouse voting this year.
Reaching Donkokrom, the district capital of Afram Plains, is a challenge. Travelers must endure hours of driving on pothole-ridden, dusty roads after crossing the Volta Lake from Adoso to Eche Amanfro. Despite being a major food production area, farmers and traders face significant difficulties in transporting affordable produce to market centers across the country. This often results in tripling food prices. Drivers in the constituency expressed frustrations over the poor road conditions. The National Democratic Congress (NDC) has historically dominated Afram Plains, making it one of their safest seats in the eastern region. In the 2016 presidential election, Nana Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) secured 18.8% of the vote, while John Mahama of the NDC garnered 79.2%. By 2020, Nana Akufo-Addo improved slightly, obtaining 5,166 votes, representing 18.85%. But John Mahama maintained dominance with 21,793,000 votes, representing 79.50%. For parliamentary elections in 2020, the NPP's Isaac Ofori-Korea received 8,605 votes, representing 31.47%, while the incumbent MP, Betty Mensah Crosby, retained her seat with 18,543 votes, representing 67.82%. This year, Betty Crosby Mensah is seeking a third term but faces tough competition from the NPP's Esiama Enim, Agbakwe Hilary of the National Democratic Party (NDP), an independent candidate, Pelu Wolasi, who poses the biggest threat.
No one is coming to our aid, and when you speak out, people assume you are being political. But we are suffering. I bought this car as a home-use vehicle, but just look at its current state.
Pelu Wolasi, a former NDC member, was controversially disqualified during the party's primaries. Now running as an independent candidate, his campaign has become a significant challenge for the incumbent MP. Despite efforts by the NDC leadership to convince him to step down, Wolasi remains resolute.
When it comes to the elections, we are based on those who are going to improve our community for us. Yeah. And when it comes to the parliamentary side, I mean, it's not helping. It's not helping at all. We don't know what our MP is doing here. Like, we don't know what she's doing. I mean, we vote for them to come to power, and when they come to power, they just go and do nothing. They'll just go outside or something like that, and they'll do nothing. But when it comes to the presidential area, like presidential side, I mean, I think me myself going to go for Mahama, no. But when it comes to the MP, no. I'm going for independent candidate.
You see, election, you better get a browse. You better have Mahama 100%. Because MP in the district in Omwai, you need your day common family. And one rubber bone you cannot to put a market. In your problem, Krana, since you start G2 at the yard, no MP, not for Ben also. I say, you're to a Basamo.
For the presidential elections, all I know is that Mahama will win decisively, and that's exactly what will happen here. As for the independent candidate, he is a true NDC member. All we wanted was a transparent primary, but that didn't happen.
The NPP supporters in the constituency are optimistic, believing this year is their best chance to win the seat.
If you look around, you will see my NPP paraphernalia hanging in my tricycle. We are very determined this year because we understand the difference between the NPP and the NDC. The NPP's policies benefit the youth. So this year, we are voting for Baumia.
First-time voters are cautiously optimistic, praying that this year's election brings real solutions to their challenges.
Our road is poor. We face so many problems. Sometimes they spoil them to see the shops. You see how some oil will be leak for you. And we support the road, so we beg you, so if you come on power, make you do the road bigger.
This year you vote?
I will vote.
Okay, what party will vote me?
Oh, me, I know should I get my own lovable party. But if I hear a person who can't talk sensible thing, that be the person I'm good.
Our route, the route is never good. It's not at the normal position. And right now, the school we have now, the KG, they are suffering from a building in which they will be inside and be schooling. And for us, some of us in the town, we have been going to SS, and the way to that place to is never good.
I know say Mahama be visionary leader. He have vision for Ghana. So if you come and do things with me, I like. But the thing go like this, MPP go come there. Me this 2024, I make my mind say no go vote.
That was a report filed by Citi News' Neil Ni Amate Kanaku. Now, the Member of Parliament for Botiano, English Amanfro, and Deputy Minister for Information, Sylvester Tete, has announced plans to investigate the allocation of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC land to private individuals in the Akwasa area following a controversial demolition exercise. Speaking after reports of his involvement in demolition structures belonging to GBC went viral, the MP attributed the backlash to administrative lapses on the part of the state broadcaster. He explained that the demolition was in line with an agreement between the South Municipal Assembly and the GBC to use the parcel of land for a public school. Sylvester Tete also challenged GBC's Director of Legal Affairs to provide evidence proving that he demolished a different parcel of land other than the one officially allocated for the school project.
I will institute investigations into how GBC Lands has ended up building private homes here where we are standing. So you should get ready. If he's a director of legal and he had the impudence to report his sector deputy minister to the police, but I want to deal with the matters of lies that has been spilled about me that have forcefully demolished their property. Let me tell you, what he claimed to be GBC property, bungalow. There's no bungalow here. There's an old dilapidated structure here. And let me tell you, there's one man who has been an occupant of that place. They've been collecting money from him for years. No GBC staff had ever occupied that place for a very long time. It's a boys' quarters, dilapidated. Nobody works in GBC had occupied that property. And when the estate manager was here and the coordinates were picked, the coordinates that were picked, that includes that whole area. So if you want to build there and an old dilapidated structure is there, what do? Don't you clear it before you do the construction? So this is the site plan I'll share with you. This is a letter signed by Kwame Waja on the instructions of the Director General. Where have I gone wrong? Where has the assembly gone wrong? The municipal assembly has not done anything untoward. So this issue of a lawless MP, if I'm lawless for the sake of my community, I'll continue to be lawless.
You heard the Member of Parliament for Botiano, English Amanfro, and Deputy Minister for Information, Sylvester Tete. This is still the City Prime News. Still to come, former toll workers accuse government of failing to fulfill promises after road toll cessation. We'll bring the details shortly. Please stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You welcome back to the City Prime News. My name is Zoe Abubeidu Ado. Now, the Bondowenya Road project is a 17-kilometer expansion initiative critical to the Trans-African Highway connecting West African nations through Togo, has stalled 4 years after the president broke ground. The delay has worsened the already severe traffic congestion, forcing motorists to endure prolonged commutes and lose productive hours daily, significantly affecting their livelihoods. Charles Osukumi reports.
Early hours of a Friday morning, a frustrated driver channeling his emotions through the horn of his vehicle. This is the situation of many commuters who ply the Kumbaria Road on a daily basis. The 17-kilometer road passing through communities like Kom and Dawenya is expected to be expanded into a 3-lane carriageway in each direction. It is also expected to play a critical role in the economic and social lives of the people of Dawenya and adjoining communities. However, due to the debt restructuring exercise, the project has stalled, compounding the traffic situation on the stretch. Charles Broby, a daily user of this stretch, shares his frustrations with Citi News.
It is Sunday to Sunday. No rest day. No rest day. You have to deal with it. And the alternative route is also very bad. That you don't know what to do, so you have to deal with it. So look, you wake up 4 a.m. You are supposed to report 7:30. Look at the time, it's 7:30. I'm going to Compton, that's where my office is, where I am.
What do you do?
I work with a logistics company.
You're not going to get into trouble getting to work late.
The excuses you give, you tell you why you decided to live at that part of it. So it is no excuse. Nobody will take it. Once you get employed, you get an appointment, then you're supposed to report to work 7:30 and close 5. So going to give excuse that I have traffic on my road is really frustrating.
For Harriet, she is concerned with the long-term health effect of the long hours of sitting in traffic.
Because it's long hour drive or long hours of drive, I'm always sitting, and that is not also good for health, for my back, and so the health implications are there. In the long run, you have backache, and if you do nothing about it, then you have.
We apologize for that technical hitch. We understand that some of the voices are not airing. We will bring you the report from Dawenya in our subsequent bulletins. Now, 3 years after the cessation of road toll collection, former toll workers are calling out the government for failing to fulfill promises made to them. On November 17, 2021, following the presentation of the 2022 budget statement and economic policy, toll collection was abruptly terminated, resulting in approximately 800 workers losing their jobs. The government, through then Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoako-Attah, pledged to reassign toll workers to alternative jobs and provide them with monthly allowances in the interim. However, 3 years on, the former workers say none of these commitments have been met, leaving the affected workers hopeless. Edward Duncan is the General Secretary of the Ghana Toll Workers Union.
The government has disappointed us. We want to set the record straight. So it's been 3 long years since the government has failed to fulfill any of the promises it gave us. 2 promises, actually. The first one was that they were going to find alternate livelihood for us. And the second one, which is attached to the first promise, is that they are going to pay us every month until they find that alternate livelihood for us. As it stands now, 3 years now, they have not fulfilled any one of those promises. Contrary to what people are saying, or government functionaries and party faithfuls are saying in the media space, that we are being paid off or we are being settled. It's not true.
General Secretary of the Ghana Toll Workers Union, Edward Duncan. Now, the New Patriotic Party says it will not be complacent in their December polls, despite a recent research suggesting a lead for their presidential candidate, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. According to a study released by Professor Smart Sapong, Associate Professor of Statistics at Kumasi Technical University, Dr. Bawumia is projected to secure 49.1% of the votes in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. In an interview with Citi News, NPP's Deputy General Secretary Haruna Mohammed indicated that the party will utilize the poll data to work harder rather than relying on the predicted lead.
We as a party will respect research, but we don't usually rely on outcomes of research to be very complacent in the activities that we do. We are very confident that we are going to win in this election. For the first time, besides Professor Sapong's research, we are the first political party to make an attempt to go over to the third term in government, where we had 49 point something percent, just as the research is giving us. In this particular scenario, the party is looking at all the variables that have been used in this particular research, and we are working towards that. We are very confident of winning these particular elections. We are looking at the research. We have sent it to our research department. We're looking at the variables that have been used in that particular research, and we are going to work towards that particular feat.
You heard NPP's Deputy General Secretary Haruna Mohammed. Meanwhile, the National Democratic Congress has dismissed the poll as lacking credibility, expressing confidence in a landslide victory for their flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama.
Well, we've cited something like that, but you see, my initial comment is that the gentleman is not smart. He's not a smart researcher. If he's a smart researcher, he would have known that his conclusions doesn't make sense to anybody. That he should have done some yeoman's job, put effort, and remove his biases. We all know him to be an MPP fanatic. He's a Kescon patron in the university. John Dramani Mahama is winning the election first round, hands down. Nothing will stop us from winning first round victory. We are winning it massively. And we are telling the whole world that as of now, MPP at 128 seats. Where is he getting it from? Which statistics is he using? Which benchmark that has given him this? If only he's not comparing that with the 2020. With the current worst situation the country has found itself, when everybody is crying, looking for change, even they themselves are looking for change. MPP members are looking for change. Baumia himself is there campaigning for change. Can you imagine? And yet you are giving them 128 seats. He's not smart. Such top bar analysis should be thrown to the dustbin.
You heard the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Now, the management of Komfanochi Teaching Hospital has called for public support to procure additional dialysis machines to enhance specialist care for renal patients. The hospital anticipates that the upcoming free dialysis initiative set to begin on December 1 could place significant strain on its current facilities if more machines are not secured. Speaking at the second edition of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital Management Senior Specialist and Consultant Consultative Forum, the hospital's Chief Executive Officer, Professor Otriadai Mensah, emphasized the importance of strategic partnerships to bolster healthcare delivery at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital.
The hospital has just received 2 new dialysis machines to add to the number 7 from the Ghana Airport Company Limited, while 6 new ones that have been bought by IGF at the cost of 2.8 million cedis are expected to be installed by the end of November, bringing the total stock to 14 dialysis machines. With this improvement, the hospital has enhanced its clinical services to renal patients who are now able to access dialysis services thanks to the introduction of the highly commendable free dialysis care by the government through the National Health Insurance Authority. The ongoing Asante Hene's Cath renovation project is also another example of the strategic partnerships being forged by management and the board to recalibrate the hospital's operations for enhanced specialist service outputs.
Professor Otriadai Mensah is the Chief Executive Officer of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. Now, the board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is scheduled to meet in early December to consider approving a $360 million disbursement to Ghana. If approved, this tranche will bring Ghana's total disbursement under the IMF's $3 billion extended credit facility to $1.92 billion. The decision follows a 2-week assessment of Ghana's fiscal data, culminating in a staff-level agreement between the IMF and Ghana on October 4 during the 3rd review of the program. IMF Director of Communications, Julie Kozak, announced this at a press briefing in Washington, D.C.
Our staff are working toward a board meeting in early December, and we'll provide additional details on the precise date when we have them. What I can say in addition is that program performance has been good. There has been, in particular, remarkable progress on debt restructuring. Economic growth in the first half of 2024 exceeded our expectations, exceeded our projections. Inflation has declined, and the fiscal and external positions have showed a marked improvement. Looking ahead, what will be important for Ghana will be continued implementation of the policy and reform agendas, especially given the difficult situation that many countries in the region and globally face. And it remains essential to fully restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability.
Director of Communications at the IMF, Julie Kozak, speaking there. That'll be all for today's edition of the City Prime News, which came to you live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, visit citynewsroom.com. You can also use the hashtags Ghana Polls 2024 and City Verified for more election-related stories. My name is Zoe Abube-Eduardo. Many thanks for listening. Have a good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, City 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at City 973.